If you're still sitting in lectures scribbling down pages and pages of notes that you probably won't ever look at again, or that you find really overwhelming when it comes to revision, then this video is for you. Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, I'm Beth, a UK university student, and after finishing my undergraduate history degree, I have just started my master's in marketing and management. In today's video, I'm going to share with you my non-conventional note-taking system using Notion. My boyfriend first introduced me to Notion and this note-taking system right at the beginning of university. And to start with, I was very reluctant because I very much like to take down my notes on paper and highlight all the important parts in pretty colours. But now I realise that is really not a productive way to take notes. And by doing that, you are creating yourself so much more work when it comes to revising. I'm specifically going to make a video on how I use this system to revise later on, so do watch out for that because it will go hand in hand with this video. But for today's video, I'm going to set out exactly what I do if I don't take notes in a conventional way when I'm doing my weekly readings and sitting in my lectures. I won't be covering exactly how to make a Notion account and set up a page in great detail because there are already so many videos available on YouTube that do this, but I will just start off by giving a brief overview for those of you who don't already have a Notion account, just so you can get started and you can establish this note-taking system that I'm going to speak about in the rest of the video. So if you do already have a Notion account, then do feel free to go to the timestamps below and to skip ahead. To start off with, simply Google Notion and follow the instructions to make yourself an account. Once you have made an account, you'll see a completely blank screen for you to customise as you wish. It's worth noting at this point that there is a website, but there's also an app as well. So you can customise your page exactly as you wish, either online or through the app later on. But for now, just follow the template I'm about to show you, just so we can get started. So the very first thing we're going to do is just title our page University. From there, we're then going to make pages for each year that we're at university, either 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 if you have a 4-year course. To do this, we're going to press the / key and then type in page. Once you've done this, you'll be taken onto your new page, which we can then title Year 1, or whatever year you're currently in at university. If we then click on University again at the top, it will take us back to our main page. And from there, we can then do the same thing again for years 2, 3, and potentially 4. You can then go into each year page and make sub-pages for each of the modules that you take. To do this, we're going to do exactly the same thing again, so press that / key and type in page and then title it whatever we want to title it. As you can see, I've titled my module Accounting and Financial Management for Year 1. If this was me setting up my own Notion page, from there I would click on my Accounting and Financial Management module, and inside there I would make more pages for my lectures, my seminars and my assessments. After that, I would then make more sub-pages for each week that I have that module. And that's really the basics all set up. So now we can go ahead and I can show you how exactly I take notes in this non-conventional way. Effectively, I write questions rather than notes. Now, the vital reason for doing this will become very clear when I post my video about how I revise using the system in a few weeks' time. But essentially, there are 3 reasons for this. Firstly, as I've said, it helps future me out loads, which is the primary reason that we should take notes in the first place. It's definitely worth creating less work for yourself overall and maximising the utility of the notes that you take. Secondly, they just look a lot neater on the page because they're a lot more condensed, as you'll see as we go through the video. And lastly, I find that by turning what I'm hearing or reading into questions, I'm actually forcing myself to understand rather than just regurgitating either what I'm listening to or what I'm reading on a page. So if you go back onto Notion, to actually write these questions down, I use toggles. To do toggles, again, we're going to use the / key and just type in toggle. From there, you can just click next to the toggle where it actually says toggle and go ahead and write down your question. And then to write our answer, all we're going to do is press on the little toggle, which is a little triangle shape. And you should see some text that says empty toggle. Just click on there and that's when we're going to write our question. I always just like to put a bullet point as well because I think it looks a bit neater. And as you probably guessed, to do this, we're going to press the / key and we're going to go ahead and type in bullet. From there, we can then go ahead and write the answer to our question. Once you've written the answer to your question, you can then just press the toggle again and it will hide the answer. So you can probably already see how this is going to be really useful for revision later on. And that is how I take information when I'm doing my reading and listening to my lectures, rather than just taking down pages and pages of notes. If you're taking notes from any sort of reading, then do make sure as well to write down the page number next to the answer, just so that you can come back to it and reference it for any coursework, or if you're ever doing revision and you feel like you need to go back over a concept, then you're going to know what page number you found it on. Although this method is slightly more time consuming than taking notes in the conventional way, it's going to save you so much time in the long run if you have an exam, as you will see when I post my video about revision. I'm a huge advocate of Notion, but for those of you who don't like taking your notes online, you could also apply this method to flashcards. So rather than writing down notes from a lecture or a reading on paper, you simply write a question on one side of the flashcard and an answer on the other side. When you watch my video in a few weeks' time about how I use this method to revise, you'll see why I feel that Notion is the best way of taking down these questions. But if you do really like to use paper, then this is a reasonable alternative. As always, I really hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please don't forget to let me know by liking and subscribing, and do let me know in the comments if there's any other study tips you'd like me to share with you. Keep an eye out for my video on how I use the system to revise, and I will see you in the next video.